Since 2007, there is always an electric version of the actual Smart model available. But today, Smart is the first company worldwide who changes completely from combustion engines into electric cars. And now they do present the brand new Smart FORTWO and Smart FORFOUR models. And today, I'm going to check what happens regarding to the new Smart when we talk about design, when we talk about range and battery, and when we talk about connectivity.
The Smart has been modernized at the interior as well. So you do now find a new center console, which features a new compartment here at the front. If you close that one, you find a nice surface to put your mobile or something in there. Really easy and nice to use. And if you open it, you find a quite big compartment, and that features two cup holders, which are removable. So you can just take them out and then you find a bigger compartment. Something I really do like a lot. Another new thing here at the interior, and I think more important, is the new infotainment system, which means you do now find an 8-inch touchscreen, and you do find Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And this really is something very nice, but important to know. That feature is available from mid of 2020 onwards. My Smart FORFOUR is powered by a 60 kilowatt electric engine, and that delivers a maximum torque of 160 Newton meters. And that is for an electric car more than enough, because you will find the torque from rev 0 onwards, which means when I put the pedal to the metal, that car really goes quite quick for a small and not so powerful car. Very important on the other hand is to know that the car delivers 60 kilowatt as a maximum, but 41 is the permanent power it delivers. And this is important because this is the thing the insurance will use to make your rate. So that means the car then is cheaper. A thing that I don't like so much is that Smart didn't manage to change the drivetrain. I'm fine with that regarding to the engine, but I'm not fine with that regarding to the battery, because this is still the old battery, which means we find 17.6 kilowatt hours capacity, and that is enough for 150 kilometers. So that's exactly the same figure as with the predecessor. And the thing is, of course, that is enough for the day-to-day drive, for your average 30 kilometers a day. But whenever you want to visit somebody, like you want to drive to your relatives, or you want to go on holiday, whatever, you have to recharge every, let's say, 100 kilometers if you go on the motorway. And of course, with a quick charge option, you can charge the car with 22 kilowatt in 40 minutes from 10 to 80%. But think about 40 minutes every 100 kilometer. That is not a real option. And I would have loved to see that Smart delivers something a bit more.
When looking at the competitors, it immediately becomes very clear where the Smart's weak point is. For example, the new Volkswagen e-up and its group brothers Skoda Citigo EV and Seat Mii Electric offering up to 260 kilometers of maximum range. The new Smart is now featuring the Smart signature instead of the Smart logo at the front. But there is a lot more that has changed regarding to the design, and about that I'm going to talk now to Gordon Wagoner.
Well, I think with the new Smart we made a significant change. Behind me you can see the Edition 1, which is really cool, in grey color with black accent, black wheels, so it's very sporty. So in general you see that this car becomes more sporty and gets more identity, and in fact it's more of a true Smart identity. When you remember the very first one, it has the eyes up there, the mouth down there, and we did the same thing. We moved the grille further down to the road, made it bigger, more significant. You can get it in contrast color, but you can also get it in body color, so it blends more nicely into the whole car, and it's a bit more calm, as this is an electric car now, so it doesn't need that much air. It's more environmental friendly, and the grille is emphasizing that. So I think with that we are capturing more of the true Smart DNA. Yeah, we wanted to differentiate the Smart FORTWO and the Smart FORFOUR. We wanted to give each of the cars their own character, so therefore the grille is different. The two-seater comes still with a little smile, and the four-seater is a bit more angry, a bit more sporty, a bit more aggressive with the negative tilting grille. So therefore we created two characters. We modernized materials, color and trim, and most of all the connectivity. So you get bigger displays, you get Android Auto, Apple CarPlay in the car, so you can connect your smartphone. I think that's a must for this digital savvy customers of Smart.
In the datasheet, you do find a figure of about 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer driven when we talk about the consumption of the new Smart. And the good thing is, during my test drive here in Valencia, that's exactly what I used. So my car shows me a figure about between 15.3 up to 15.6, depending on my driving style. And of course, I do drive in the city most of the time. I do drive easy, but I really managed to get that figure done without thinking about it. And this is really something I do like a lot. If you just drive the car and you can match that figure. Of course, if you do drive it, for instance, in Germany, cold weather, rainy, and you may drive on the motorway a bit more fast, of course you will not match that figure. But I think it's still a very nice number. The only thing I would love to have, as said, is a bigger battery.
The base version of the new Smart FORTWO costs from 21,940 euros onwards. The 4-door FORFOUR is available from 22,600 euros in Germany. At Volkswagen you pay at least 21,975 euros for the electric up, but it always has room for 4 people.
What I really do like with the Smart is when you look regarding to the surfaces and the materials, you do find loads of, let's say, plastic or plasticish stuff. But that's typical Smart, because that was the same with the first generation. And what I really like is this blue stuff here. That's fancy. And if you're not a Smart person, you should better have a look at a different car. Another good example that not so much has happened regarding to the base of the car is the boot size of our Smart FORFOUR, because that now features 185 liters with the rear seats up and up to 975 with the rear seats fold down, exactly the same as the predecessor. And this is the same with the Smart FORTWO. It now still features at a standard configuration 260 liters as a maximum. The Smart really is made for a city like Valencia. So because of the electric engine, you do have a quite powerful, very agile car. You have a very nice turning circle, so you always find a parking. You always can just turn around your car to go in the completely other direction. And because of the electric engine, the car is quite quiet on top. So really made for the city and great fun. So now I'm in my Smart. Let's say that, because this is the Smart FORTWO, and that for me is the real Smart. And that car is so agile, so quick, so nasty, so nice to drive in the city. I really do like this a lot. And the good thing with the electric engine is when you stop at a traffic light and you then push the pedal to the metal, you will always be the first guy who is really quick on the road because of this electric powered car. That really is something you have to love that car for. When you drive the Smart FORTWO, that car has a different wheelbase than the FORFOUR, of course. And that means, on one hand, the advantage is the turning circle is a lot less. And so the car is more agile. The downside is that because of the shorter wheelbase, the car does work less good regarding to bumps in the surface of the road. And that means from time to time you really get a different kick. But on the other hand, it's a bit like when you say you drive a motorcycle. It is a different connection to the road, so a little bit more, more strong, more intense. And when you get used to that, that really is something special. But it's not always fun. So like here in Valencia, you do have loads of these potholes. And then I really have to say I do miss the longer wheelbase. Shortly after we started with the Smart FORTWO, the car shows me a maximum range of more than 150 kilometers. I think this is something like, that would be nice to have. And I think maybe you can manage to really have this distance here in Valencia, because we have the perfect temperatures, like 14 degrees at the moment, and we do drive quite easy through the city. But I think in Germany, with our weather and our drive, that is something you will never ever manage. What I really do like with the Smart is that you do find, and it doesn't matter if you talk about the FORFOUR or FORTWO, at the front seats loads of space even for tall people like me. So I'm nearly 2 meters tall. I do really sit comfortably in the car. The seat is very nice and comfortable, and the support is absolutely fine. And you do find a nice seating position. The only downside is you can only adjust the steering wheel up and down, so you can't pull it towards you. But it doesn't matter, still very comfortable for such a small car. And how much space is behind me in our Smart FORFOUR? Let's find out by having a short stop. So this is the short break to see if I can sit behind me. I didn't change my seating position, but let's see how much space the FORFOUR offers. And when you look at that,
this angle here is nearly 90 degrees, so that should make it easy. But as you may see, oh goodness, yeah, I can get in, but there is enough headroom, but only until I hit the frame of the glass roof. And you see, for my knees, that doesn't work. So yeah, that's not that much space in that small car.
That was my test drive with the new Smart FORFOUR and Smart FORTWO. What I really do like with the new Smart is it's still a real Smart, which means the car is agile, it's fun to drive in the city, and the consumption is very nice. So we used about 15 whatever kilowatt hours per 100 kilometer driven, which is nearly exactly the same figure as you may find in the datasheet. On top, what I really do like with the car is it is refreshed. So you do now find Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You find a new infotainment, which is then 8-inch as a touchscreen, and you do find, of course, everything else you expect from a modern electric car. What I don't like so much with the car is that Smart didn't manage to use this facelift to put a new battery or new drivetrain into the car, which means you do really find exactly the same technology as with the predecessor, and that means you do have about 150 kilometers of maximum range with a fully loaded Smart. And I think, yes, if you only drive in the city, that's fine, but if you want to drive a bit more further down the road, maybe to visit your relatives, that's from time to time a bit too short.